PharmD Nation, I know a bunch of you have big financial goals for yourself, and probably one of the ways you're going to pursue some of those financial goals is maybe starting a side hustle, trying to earn some income on the side. So in this video, I want to make sure that everybody is aware of the difference between what the IRS considers a hobby and what the IRS considers a real business, and the reporting rules of income and expenses when you're dealing with one or the other. So a hobby is, as it sounds, it's basically something you do for fun. You don't pursue any sort of profit for that. If you earn an income for some reason because you're doing some sort of hobby and it's unintended, great. You still have to report that as taxable income that year. If you incur any sort of expenses because of that hobby, you can actually deduct those expenses off of that income to lower that taxation on that income in that year. However, with a hobby, you cannot deduct anything greater than the actual income you earned. So you went out and you spent $5,000 on your hobby and you made $200 of income. Report that $200 of income. You could take $200 of those expenses, knock down that income from a tax expense standpoint, but you're still left with all those other expenses that you can't deduct off of any other of your income. On the flip side of that is if you start a legitimate business and you are actually pursuing a profit, you may have the opportunity to take any leftover expenses that you don't have income to cover and use those expenses as a deduction on other income sources you may have in that year. So just a couple quick tips to help you determine if you're pursuing a hobby or if you're actually pursuing something that is business related is, do you maintain proper books and records? If you do, it's probably a business. Do you intend to turn a profit either now or in the future? If you do, it's probably not a hobby. It's more likely going to be seen as a business. Do you depend on this income that you're producing for your livelihood to pay your bills? If you do, it's probably going to be seen as a business and not a hobby. Are you in it to make a profit? Not now, or maybe in the future. If that is the goal, it's probably a business and not a hobby. And finally, will it make any sort of upcoming profit, or will it create any sort of assets that you will use in a business related way down the road? If so, it's probably not a hobby. It's going to be seen more as a business. So just know, if you're out there and you're starting a side hustle and you get to the point where it's actually becoming profitable, how do you report that income? How do you report those expenses will be determined on, is it a hobby or is it seen as a true business through the lens of the IRS?